Yeah, right.
not lit, not taken down,
Right.
And we're ready.
and might blow away.
We're a little,
It's getting pretty windy.
hopefully Deb will be, calling in.
Okay.
I don't know if she's around in the neighborhood or not, I'm not sure. So she's been traveling a lot lately.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay,
I do
hello,
not know.
everybody.
Hello.
Everybody's here except for Deb.
I'll need some coffee.
And we do not have anybody on. June, secretary volunteer. Might be my turn.
I can volunteer, I'll do it. I got my notes here, I'm ready to
Oh,
go.
perfect.
Oh,
Thank you,
Julie,
Joy.
you're
so wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, approval of April minutes.
I sent those around again late this afternoon, well, like
Oh,
around
I was
2:30.
here late this afternoon, but they,
Because it's been a while since
Yeah.
we looked at them.
So we could all get a chance to
It
see.
was a forwarded email, Julie had replied, and it was attached, so hopefully it came in.
let's see, let's go to, crap. Let's look here. Yeah, I just got it.
Oh, good.
Mary Dell. In case you want to review. Oh, that document. Oh, for some reason, I could not,
I think I got
could
everything
not open that
right.
on
I
my
hope so.
phone. So, I will trust everybody if you think it's okay.
They look good.
They did
look
okay,
good,
good.
yeah.
Okay.
Motion to approve?
Moved.
Can I do that?
Sure.
Since I took them.
All in favor? Yeah,
yeah.
let's do it. Okay, perfect. Public comment? Fast public. Yeah, okay. Old business. We got a lot of stuff from Mr. Mike Mampos. Anything, Northwest Energy grants?
Supposedly, we're gonna get paid back for the two we did this past year. I
What's
haven't-
supposedly mean?
It's Northwest Energy, I get an email I send them an email, and then I send them another email, and then I get back and I send them an email every day, and then after 3 or 4 weeks, they respond, but the last response was, they have everything they need, and they're gonna get some checks out
We'll let you know, right?
too, so.
Payback for the two.
And that's about 20, I can't remember the whole exact number, but it's probably in the neighborhood of $26,000. So for the two projects, I basically, the other grant is, I think we're gonna have to either reapply with a smaller project because they base the money on the number of kilowatts. And if we do a smaller project, then this grant's not gonna apply, or we find somebody else that will help us with another grant. So we're 90,000 short
We're talking about the,
for the EV
EV
charger.
chargers
Oh,
and the
yeah.
solar there with the parking structure.
And I
Okay.
don't, I mean, from a public works standpoint, I'm not gonna go into our budget for $90,000 to charge people's cars.
Right.
So,
Right, free.
sorry.
Right, no,
and frankly, most,
the free charging.
grants of this nature have dried up, so,
So I kind of feel like that one, I feel like the right thing to do is to let Northwest Energy know we're not gonna do the project so that they can take, because they pledged 35,000 towards it.
Oh, okay.
So, or we hustle up and find something, but I don't know that's gonna happen in a time frame that's gonna work.
wonder if we can reconfigure this so we don't need to have a, structure.
Well, the structure was there because we need a structure to put the panels on. We
Right,
can't
'cause
put that many panels on.
They won't go in the
The
bathrooms.
The restroom, no.
And the bathrooms are also kind of limited on, there's trees
Shade.
right there.
That's true, okay,
If we're gonna do it, you gotta do it right, just don't do it to do it.
yeah.
So would resort tax money be an option?
You can ask them, like I said.
You can
I
ask
will.
them, I mean, we have a meeting tomorrow, but
I'm not gonna, I'm gonna ask them for something else. Like Pride Park, we're getting redone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
That benefits more people than an EV charging station.
right.
So,
But we are getting new chargers, right?
what's that? The new chargers are installed,
Oh,
Okay, good.
they're up and running.
I saw several cars charging over the weekend.
Yeah.
Hopefully they put money in the donation.
Yeah, I agree, it's not really our necessarily the city's place to
No,
fuel people's cars.
no,
We're not providing gas for anybody driving in. So if the city wanted to maybe, you know, a Chamber of Commerce or something,
yeah, I mean, if I find another source for that.
or
it's
charge,
good.
or have it be a charge, you know, you
Pay
pay
for
for
it.
your electricity.
Yeah.
That would, I would get that.
The new chargers are not credit card ones, are they?
No,
No,
no, that takes a lot.
Yeah.
That's, you know, that's another level of complexity. Yes, we could do it, it's getting easier, but again, there's monthly fees and, you know, it's gonna add more cost.
Okay.
Mhm.
Honestly, I mean, what she just said, we stick with things the city normally does and do them well.
Okay.
And,
Hey, Deb. Okay.
It's really kind of a place for private industry.
Hold a chair.
So
Well, what do you think, guys? Do you wanna, should we try to pursue, an additional $90,000? We're talking about, we're short $90,000 for the, solar, structure and the panels that would go above the EV chargers between the, library and the Arts Guild. And Northwest has pledged $35,000, which, you know, is very generous,
yeah.
but we're still $90,000 short. Should we see if we can find 90, or should we tell Northwestern no? What do you think?
I'm leaning towards no, just because, again, like, the tide is sort of turning, and I feel like there might, to Mike's point, there might be other things we could be doing,
Mhm.
and I don't know, that's sort of where I'm at. 90,000 is a lot to ask for us to try to come up with.
money and it's a niche,
Yeah,
and
Right.
I think we spread it out.
trying to get the city to, or even the resort tax to, you know, for a couple of chargers, I don't know. I mean, not that they wouldn't consider it, but just, yeah,
Yeah, well, you know, it's for the structure itself.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what is the payback? Did we figure that out, what the payback is for those solar
It's gonna
chargers?
be, I mean, I looked at, I think we spend somewhere in the neighborhood of 25, don't quote me on this, but like, I might be able to tell you, I think
we.
2,500 a year on the electric bill down there.
Oh,
And that's gone up.
So, I'm guessing, but I can look here on my phone, I think I have.
that's not outrageous.
No.
And we encourage the little box to be used.
But it, yeah, and I don't know what we get out of the box. I really don't.
I don't have any idea, I don't know who
I was
collects
always,
that.
we had a box for an RV dump in Choto, and I was thoroughly impressed with how much people put in there, so that they might bring
No, I-
money in.
Could see someone traveling saying, I can't believe it.
Let's see.
They're offering us free charge, I'll just drop 20 in or something.
Street lights. Got a lot of electric bills.
Yeah.
Park Depot.
The streetlight bill will. It's a big one.
There it is. This is a charging station. Now it's gonna make it bigger. So it looks like we're about, I'm just gonna ballpark an average. Don't know what's that number? Total, so. I'm gonna say this last column is a total, $2,021, so divide that into 90,
Okay,
45 years.
it sounds like the consensus is that, yeah.
I
It
mean,
sounds
it'll
like the
probably go up
consensus
over
is,
time, probably.
we could move on with that. Would you let Northwestern know? Okay, thank you. Okay.
Okay.
The next thing on their agenda, the pool solar status, I'm not sure.
Is it running?
Mhm.
It's working.
Mhm.
Oh,
It's
that's what I
not-
wanted to
It's not
know.
tied to the internet right now, and I spoke with Henry about it. when I saw this on there. And I didn't go check it today. He said the last time he checked it, it was running fine, but if you can't see it on the internet, his little place you can go in and see everything, because, and I guess he talked to Kim about it, this is the first I heard about it, but there's something with a firewall that they have on the router, it won't let the solar thing talk correctly, so it's a tech issue, and it's, I don't know that it really matters. You can go on the inverter itself and see what it's producing,
Right.
but it's working.
It's working. Okay, that's the big thing. Working, yay.
Does
Oh.
that provide, heat for the pool and then
No.
lights and everything?
Just
No.
electricity.
Oh, okay.
The heat for the pool water comes from natural gas,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
lots of
of
it.
course, yeah.
Gas is awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I bet.
Okay, reusable bag committee, where are we at?
Not much to report.
Mhm.
Next week, I will talk to the manager at the farmer's market and see if she is willing to hand out some bags
Okay,
to people there. Or I can even take them to individual booths, and when someone doesn't have a bag, you know, they could hand them one. So we'll keep trying to give them out that way.
I think just at the market manager,
Okay,
I think that's the best way to do it, then it's more of a Red Lodge thing.
okay.
So, because if they have extra bags, they might take them with them, which is okay, I guess, but they're more for Red Lodge, you know?
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
okay. I'll do that next week. I was late this week. I didn't get there until around 11, so
Really started.
no point.
Okay.
But I'll get there early and see if,
Okay, so Mike and I are working, with, Sean and, Beartooth Market on a sign.
oh, great.
Good, good, good.
And that should be in progress?
Yeah, I forgot about it. So,
Oh.
yeah, it's in progress.
You might have had some other things to do. So
Yeah.
let's just say the sign is in progress.
Great.
But they're all over it.
At the carts?
With the.
At the cart.
context
Oh,
the cart
of the
return.
sign.
Oh,
It's
yay.
just the text, context. of
It's
the
gonna
sign.
say something like,
Forget your
don't
bag.
forget your reusable bag,
Okay.
or something like that. We're gonna try and get a,
And we're gonna put it on the cart thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see
Yeah.
it in the parking lot
Yeah.
before you go inside.
yeah. And probably one spacing one way and one, might have to be two signs. I don't know how you do that, but anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, I don't know exactly how it's gonna go, but, you know, hopefully with our cute bear, like we have on the inside, but if we can, or a cute bear, or something.
Yeah, just any cute bear.
Any cute
Any
bear.
cute bear.
Any cute bear, any cute bear. So, anyway, but they're all over it, and the city
Good.
offered to pay for that, so.
Oh, yay, wonderful.
Yeah,
That's good.
so,
How much is that gonna cost? Just
Sign.
curious.
Not a lot.
Probably $100-ish, maybe $125 for
Yeah.
two.
Cool.
and they're fine with putting the city logo on and city, you know, city,
Yeah,
whatever it is.
I'll see what the mayor wants to do on that. I think after we spoke about it, I did speak to him, and I'm gonna have to retract that, but I don't know that, I think my memory serves. I think it's okay if it's just the sign.
They don't care one way or the other. They don't care one way or the other. So, it's to their benefit. So, okay,
That's good.
all right. Next farmer's market. Republic contract negotiations.
We got, an RFP back, or we got a proposal back from Republic. They were the only people that gave us a proposal. After changing the deadline multiple times because it was so much work, they gave us a very, very small proposal with no detail really, other than basically the unit price, which is how they bid it last time, how they bid it this time, is basically, may not be exactly correct on the math here, but it's essentially, I think we have a 3% increase every year for COLA, and it's basically COLA, so it's a good price, I think. There was nothing in the proposal about recycling or anything like that. Currently, what we do with Republic in regards to recycling, as in, renting the balers and the bins and have them haul the glass, I believe I'm not sure about this, I was asking Lonnie about it today. I don't know if that, we don't know if that's on a separate contract or just kind of à la carte. And I got a feeling it might be à la carte. But I am meeting with Ryan tomorrow, and we're gonna kind of start hashing out what a new contract will look like. I'm gonna bring up some stuff about
No response,
recycling.
no reply, no reply.
He said a couple times that they would throw us a number at what curbside would look like. I'd still like to see that number, even if it's a general number. I think it's not gonna be a number that the city of Red Lodge as a whole is gonna swallow, but it'd still be, I'd like to know what that number is.
Would nice to have an option.
But yeah, and we don't know, we need a number.
Okay.
You can't think about it unless you have a number, so.
Right.
I think, based on how that goes, for recycling right now, Ann might be able to correct me on this from her time down there, but we pay them for the bins we put the glass in, we rent them, we pay them to haul that glass, and we rent, one or two cardboard smashers from them, or compactors.
Is that a Baylor?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, all right.
I think that's all we really have with them on that front, and I don't know if I talked to you guys since Kyle and I went down to Powell and looked at their stuff.
Oh.
Did I miss
Oh,
last
yeah,
week? Oh.
No.
So we went down, I think I missed that meeting for something. We went down there, they have a glass crusher, and what they're doing is they're crushing glass into two different products. One is like a kind of a pea gravel type thing, and the other is basically a sand. They're trying to, they say they have an outlet for the sand, like 60 ton a year or something, to a blasting company, to use it to blast, sandblast with. And they want all of our glass. And right now, in 2023, we invested $16,000 in change to recycle glass, by renting the containers and shipping them to Missoula and paying, I think it's called Earthworks, to take the glass. If we go to Powell with it, we're not pay anybody, we just gotta get it there. There's a few things, I told them that we wouldn't make a formal agreement till after we got done with our contract, just in the event Republic came back with some really good deal and they wanted the glass with curbside or something. So basically what it would amount to is a MOU between City of Red Lodge and Powell Valley Recycling. Some logistical changes would be we'd have to change containers that we put the glass in so that they could handle it. And I don't think it'd be a major thing. They use the 300 gallon or 300 liter, those big round ones like Laurel has, and they have a machine that grabs them. So we would just get some of those and put them up there. And I think, based on conversations with Kyle, I think we'd end up with probably, and I would, honestly, that's a part I'd like to talk to Republic about, still contracting, if they have those size containers, and if they can haul them easy, then right now we haul glass twice a year, I think. That's what it is. We'd probably haul it every 2 months, but that's a lot shorter than Missoula.
Oh,
Yeah, we don't have any
it's
money
getting
to get rid of
used,
it.
that's, we know it's getting used, that's
And it'll
great.
be, I don't know if it'll be recycled, it'll be reused.
Yeah,
That's good.
that's great,
Always thought maybe.
So that's good.
yeah, that's really good news.
Somebody picked up. Patty will follow up conversations with them since your visit.
No, I told him it was gonna be, I told him it'd be till after I said I gotta see what we get for proposals and see where we're gonna go before I make any commitments on glass. But I feel like once we get things ironed out with Republic where they're gonna be, and I think I know, I think they're gonna wanna stay kind of where we're at right now. Then we'll get that going, so.
That's
Yeah,
cool,
great.
that's
Great.
wonderful,
That's
thank
nice.
you.
Yeah.
That is really good.
Did they come to you, or did you
They
find
reached
out?
out to us,
Right?
they reached out to me, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they need the product, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that, they just bought it,
Yeah.
they spent like $130,000 for the equipment.
They're expensive.
Right, right,
Huh,
And they can,
yeah.
Wow.
it goes really fast, I guess.
Yeah, I can see it streaming in from Missoula.
Yeah, if you get bored, go down there, they have a nice facility.
where is it in Powell?
Because you're coming in from this side,
Yeah.
right on the edge of town, you take a right. I can't remember
Oh,
that
back
road,
in that
where the old
industrial.
county shop used to be.
Yep, yep,
They have all that, they have,
Yep.
I mean, and they kinda, it's a little, it's nice, I don't quite understand, like they're baling up all kinds of plastic and they they're just stacking it, they don't have a place to take it, and it's all mixed plastic.
Sounds familiar.
What's that?
Sounds familiar,
So I'm
yeah.
kinda like, well, what's your long-term plan with that?
What size
Yeah,
acreage
right.
do they have there?
Oh, pretty good size, I mean, they've got,
Just Hill.
they got a big fenced-in yard, I mean, pretty nice.
You think it's an acre or two, or
A couple.
couple acres, okay?
Wow.
So is that just recycling, or do they do garbage there as well?
No, it's just recycling, and
Recycling,
it's,
okay.
I think it's a private nonprofit that does it with some support from the city of Powell. It's called Powell Valley Recycling.
Huh.
And I don't think it's
Worth
on
a
city
visit?
ground.
Worth a visit, you think?
Yeah, it's worth a visit.
Recycling, okay, that's, that's wonderful.
Good news.
Okay. This isn't on the list, but are we even still thinking about a drive-through or another way to access?
Yeah, I think that's still on the table. I think,
I mean, it has to be budgeted.
well, I think that's gonna take a little time. Kyle and I gotta get together and think about it and look at it.
Okay,
We may think about it, look at it and go, for all that work, it's really not gonna be worth it, just because the way it lays in there, I don't know. But
Okay.
it's still on the table.
okay, thanks. All right, community solar news, boo, we talked about this earlier, the governor vetoed it. So,
Maybe the legislature will,
community solar?
Well,
The governor vetoed it. It passed both houses and, nonpartisan,
with
Can
the
we
has-
veto his veto?
and
Yes.
so now at this point, I think it goes back to, the chamber members, and they can, they can do a 2/3 override.
This was for the one that.
Provide a community solar.
This is where,
You put a generation station in or something.
well, if somebody, if we had community solar here, we would find a place for it, and then people would, put in,
by
you know,
shares,
buy shares in it. And,
and then it offsets
yes,
Yeah.
your electric bill.
electric bill.
Yeah, so if you didn't want to do your own personal solar on your house, or couldn't,
Right.
this is a way you could do it.
And it's still tied into the grid, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, you know, Northwestern is still gonna be making money, so I don't understand the two really.
Well, they're tied into their grid, and that's their argument, it's their grid.
They don't want our power.
But what if we tied into Fairtooth Electric grid?
why don't we have, we were talking about this, why don't we have a choice here in Red Lodge, because Berthoud Electric is right here?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
I don't either. If you look at the map, it's really weird.
I know,
You
but
know, they
why don't-
go around.
There's a whole area down into
Areas.
Wyoming. Wyoming's becoming our friend right down here, it seems like. You know, it's a pathway between communities that are separated by a long highway, but, we have a lot in common, and, they are Fairtooth Electric District One.
Huh.
You know, like Belfry Downs,
huh,
so, isn't that interesting?
Yep.
So somehow Fairtooth Electric, when they kind of where they started.
Was that decided by the legislature? Does anybody know? I don't know how
I
that,
think it's the Public Service Committee.
oh, great.
Yeah.
Them.
Good answer, yeah.
Yeah, they have power, and, you know.
Okay, so I guess if you feel strongly about it, the thing to do would be to contact Brad Barker. He's our representative. He voted for it before, voted for community solar, and said,
Yeah.
hey, you did it before, you know, please consider an override of the governor, or something like that. Okay?
Is there a formal term for overriding Anita, people?
I think it's
That's
just
it.
override.
It's
Yeah,
override,
I think
yeah.
that's it.
That's all I know. Okay. We already talked about the new EV chargers. They are in, they're up and running. Earth Arbor Day update.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna do Arbor Day on the 14th of July now, with the trees, all the stuff for the tree removal project that we're doing, we got a grant for it. We were told not to proceed until we had a signed agreement. It took forever to get a signed agreement.
Who's the signed agreement between?
DNRC with who we
Oh,
got the
okay.
grant from. And so by the time I got the agreement signed and I had talked to Red Lodge Tree Service, they were gonna do the removals for us on big trees, and they had us penciled in to do it all early, and that's what they wanted to do before they got busy. But they ended up getting in people that were, and we lost our days, so we won't have the removal done until hopefully by July 14th, and the trees, I haven't checked with Denise, it was not, when I ordered the trees, it did not seem likely they would hit the truck to get a shipment. Got a shipment, I believe, on Saturday, that was one of, well, that was the earliest one we could get. I don't know if they made that or not, the next one will be July 7th, so we figured July 14th will be safe for planting. A little late, but
That's
it is what
late.
it is.
That's late, but that's the way it is. Okay. Yeah,
Does that include along the entrance, north entrance coming in?
Nope,
Any of those dead trees along the?
I mean, we could,
Of the
we
highway?
could put some mix
You know
on
what I
those for the
mean,
removal
round the
program.
roundabout and just,
I
if
think
you're
that
going down, there's some that are,
there's been a lot of people, a lot of talk about that situation down there and some of those trees and the weeds and the very bad sprinkler system that's there. So I think long-term, we're looking at a comprehensive project that would go from where that boulevard starts through the circle and up past the chamber that would
Yeah.
make it, some of those trees should have been planted there. They're in bad spots, I mean, terrible, and
yeah.
planting, there's conifers in there. With one side shaved off by snowplows on a boulevard strip that wide. That wasn't thought out. So,
that was that great,
we're probably not gonna do anything in there until we get a good plan. But we do have places, we have plenty, we have downsized our pre-order from 30 to 25 just because prices went up. And what we got, our grant, we didn't get all the money we wanted. I think with those 25 trees, we don't have, well, we probably have 20 already accounted for,
Okay.
where we're putting them,
Good.
so.
Now, will
Good.
that involve, they probably don't need volunteers, will it be?
No, I'm gonna get some flyers put out hopefully this week, because it is gonna be an Arbor Day event.
Oh, okay, okay.
And, we're gonna try and get people to show up like last year.
Yeah, good.
And you're working
And
through
we're
the
gonna
park
go out
board.
ahead of time like we did last year and dig all the holes so that, and have all the supplies sitting there with a tree, so that all
Yeah,
they have to do is
That
show
was
up,
perfect.
do it, and pound stakes in, and.
Yeah.
All right,
We're
you're
also
working
gonna
with the
try
parks
to do,
board on that.
We're gonna try and do a pruning workshop. I was gonna try and do a pruning
Yeah.
workshop with that event, but being it's in July, I may skip it, just because that's getting a little late
Yeah.
for pruning trees. Or not, we'll see. See what the arborist says.
Well, you're supposed to prune trees when they're dormant, so, just saying.
Yeah, we're not sapping.
Okay, let's move on. There's been some, new business. This is not really new business, it's kind of new business, but the transfer station possibility. There's been, we all got a, letter in our email, and the same letter appeared in the Carbon County News. I know,
What was the letter in the email? So,
Chris Coxwell,
yeah,
about the transfer station?
about a transfer station.
Was her
Thank you,
proposal
Rose.
that we wouldn't have city pickup and we would just have the transfer station?
Correct.
And that's where she lost me, because I think it would just make our problem worse. I mean, I don't have a garage, like, so, and,
So would there be nobody to haul it to?
yeah, it's like she just and she thinks, she said like private enterprise would jump in and could haul things for you, and I'm like, I can barely make it to recycling, and it's like, that's already stacking up, and I'm like, no, I don't think that's reasonable, and I mean, I'm an able-bodied person, but I work during the day, and like, to try to move something, and if you think about the elderly people in our community, how many people don't have garages, I think we're just asking for a nightmare. I mean, the idea of a transfer station so that, you know, externally, if people wanted to do that, fine, but to get completely, I don't think we can even entertain not having city pickup.
Did the city council pass that ordinance about people who have airproof cans have to keep them closed properly? Did they?
No, we talked about it, we haven't talked,
Okay.
but as RFP, I don't think, we requested that Republic,
We requested that
That everything is
anybody who
there,
put in a
but
proposal
not-
have a bear-proof can, and that, when we did that, we were probably limiting ourselves to
Oh,
one proposal.
but I don't think they addressed it realistically, did they?
So,
Republic?
Like,
They-
I feel like, what do you mean, they have bear-proof cans here now?
Well,
You know what I've noticed?
Okay, well, we're gonna talk about the bear-proof cans very shortly, because
Oh,
we're gonna
okay.
talk about the bear committee, okay?
So what's
So let's put that on hold
I'm
for the
with
next
her
one.
on the transfer
Yeah.
station. We
We're
can't
still
have
on
people
that.
mow their own trash.
Well,
People
and
leave mow their own yards. People
The
don't
one-
mow their yards.
the one
Yeah,
in
trash
Teton
can.
Valley, Idaho is huge. It's
Mhm.
huge. And I was thinking about where would we even put everything, out around the recycling center.
And I think it should really be a city-county thing,
it's gotta be
honestly.
county.
It's gotta be, the county's gotta be involved in that.
Yeah.
And, involved in that conversation. And I know if we do a contract with, say, Republic, it'll be a 5-year contract, so we'll have 5 years to have a converse, to broach this. You have to plant the seed with the county. They don't jump on anything.
What's the reason to have a transfer station, just lower cost for garbage?
Lower cost. Mm-hmm.
Well, and the fact
$36
that
a
maybe
month.
bears wouldn't
Maybe
get
safer.
into garbage.
What's that?
Maybe safer, less people out there. I mean, all it takes is one trash can that isn't locked properly or isn't bear-proof in an alley.
Well, if we get rid of Republic, the trash cans go with them.
Right, if we have a transfer station, you're just,
You're just asking for the trash,
A little big.
especially with all the VRBOs. I mean, our
We did
VRBO
have-
folks
we
can't
did have
even
a
figure out the,
contract with
no, they'll just
Lowe's.
leave it
Hey,
out.
do you think Republic would sell us their cans?
but
Yes,
nobody
you
could,
gotta call Republic.
but nobody could get those from the station. Who can get, how do you
Yeah.
load that in your car?
Yeah, nope,
People just be using little metal
It's
cans
just,
in the
it would be
backyard.
disgusting in the city, it'd be disgusting.
Bags out.
And,
Yeah.
bags out in the, yeah.
And do you have a feeling about transfer station, one way or the other?
Well, I think it's gotta be the county, just like everywhere, Teton County, City County. Getting those guys on board is doubtful, I don't know where we put it. I think a good place would be, I mean, it exists right now, is that pull out on the side of the road north of Fox, between Fox and Roberts, I mean, that would be a
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
that you could legitimately consider that, but that's the only place I know of that,
It'd have to be,
It
it would have to be manned
yeah,
all the time,
Mm-hmm.
whenever it was open.
yeah. And, otherwise it's just gonna be mattresses and crap.
Mm-hmm.
So no,
Okay, well,
And people from Red Lodge would haul their garbage out there.
I'm just,
Just bringing it up, it was an idea, somebody had, and it's been kind of it's been a back burner idea for a number of years, so.
Maybe another answer would be.
Well, you gotta get the county on board, and I don't see that happening.
You know, that
Yeah,
Anytime
that's
soon.
always been a big
the
problem.
neighborhood would put their.
Okay, let's move on, Bear Committee,
Anybody here on the Bear Committee?
I'm on the Bear Committee.
Thank you, Corey.
Well, the reason why is, and it goes to the, Energy Conservation Plan goals. My goal was to work on what was it, the handbook, the employee handbook.
Yeah.
Lonnie said, don't bother, we're in the middle of the budget, we don't have time to work on this, and this is our internal policy, so we're not doing anything on that right now. So I said, okay, so that was my one goal. So I agreed to be on the Bear Committee, anyway. So we have had several meetings, Mike's on the Bear Committee too. He's far more experienced in bear stuff than I, but, you know, this is an enthusiastic group that are moving along. They have, these vacation rental fare safety toolkits,
Great.
which they may or may not put the whole thing in there, but they'll at least put recreating in bear country so
Yeah.
people understand that.
Great.
That's one thing that's gonna go in vacation rentals, and this is just from Bear Aware or someplace, people in carnivores, okay, .org. Let's see, we are going to be, a group of people are going to be surveying, we're back to the bear cans now. We're gonna do a survey of the bear cans in the alleys, okay? And, correct me if I'm wrong, but it involves some sort of, I volunteered to do it, but I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to do quite yet. So, I walk the alleys all the time, and they
I can
seem to
tell you
be ajar. Okay, please.
So, you'll get trained on how to use the little app on your phone,
Right.
and you'll walk up to a garbage can, it'll go like this. And if
On
it,
top?
no, you'll try to lift it open.
Oh, okay.
And if it won't lift open,
It's locked.
you hit a button on your phone that says it's good,
Oh, cool.
and you walk to the next one. And if that one opens, then you.
There was something
then you-
about, no, that,
No, let it finish.
okay, go ahead.
Then you slam it, and then if it locks, then there's another button on the phone and it says not properly closed. Then if you slam it and it still opens, then that can is broken and there's another button you
Oh,
hit,
that's great.
and it maps them.
Okay.
The phone has GPS.
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
With that.
you know, just put a dot on there, and if, when you hit it works, it comes up a green dot. And it says, when it works, but somebody went like this, when they shut it so it wouldn't latch, then you get a blue dot for improperly closed. And if it won't latch at all, it gets a red dot.
Oh, that's easy,
Oh, that's
okay.
great.
That's
It
all
was
it is.
If they get a blue
complicated.
dot, can we
And then, so
issue
when you-
citations to do it as a fundraiser for the city? Like, we,
Right.
fund all the projects we wanna do?
You open up the app on your phone, you don't walk down an alley that's full of red and blue and green dots. You go find an alley that doesn't have any dots.
Okay, well, we're gonna figure it out, and, you know, I'll do, you know, whatever alleys, okay? There is also, a walking group from I think it's from the community church.
Alleys are gonna be first come, first served.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Okay,
You
makes
just
sense.
look on the app and if you look, it's like, oh shoot, I wanna walk over here, but all those are dotted up, you gotta go
Oh.
over there.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's easy.
How do you get the app?
Call me.
Anyway, so we're going to provide this information for Republic. Well, for the city and for Republic.
It's also we have to do a community bear assessment as part of this Bear Smart
God.
Community Program.
Okay.
And in the assessment, we're gonna identify theoretically, all the attractants within our study area, which is mostly gonna be the city limits of the city of Red
Right.
Lodge. That's gonna identify trash cans, dumpsters, grease reservoirs, like the one for the Pollard here. I pulled the information from the GNRC tree survey, and we'll have all the fruit trees,
Oh,
all
Oh.
choke cherries, anybody who's got bees, apiaries, like other Bear Smart communities did things. It'll have bird feeders on there, you know, to a degree. One of the things that Dan, he's the Fish, Wildlife, and Parks guy, was talking about was whether or not we wanna try and include grills on there, because in other community assessments they do, but I think it's safe to say that everybody's got grills.
yeah,
So, maybe as problems come up, you just identify on the assessment. The assessment's basically just a map that generates a database, where you have problem grills. And it identifies where there's travel corridors the bears use through town. And I've already got Fish, Wildlife, and Parks starting in 2023, so we have 23, 24, and 25. They have all of their incidents that they respond to in a database, and that'll be in our assessment as well. It's already in there.
Oh, good.
So, but yeah, the CAN survey, and then we will give the CAN survey to, when we, all the red cans will go to Republic and say, these cans need fixed. And.
Good. Good, so anyway, so that's, I think that's real
Great.
positive, that's
Yeah,
exciting.
very Yeah.
positive.
My task was, believe it or not, to get a hold of the Green Team. Remember the Green Team? They used to be a member of our committee.
Yeah.
And so, but anyway, yes, they are going to do, a video.
Oh.
Hopefully this summer, if we can get kids, get some, you know, the kids are off doing whatever they're doing. But, we're gonna have a how to open a bear can video. And it's going to, and
I'll
then it's gonna
probably
be.
close the bear cage.
Yeah, well, and how to probably close it as well, you're
good.
right. And then, it's gonna be tied to a sticker and a QR code, so people, who are struggling with a bear can in their alley, I don't know how many people I've helped, you know, tourists and whatnot, and,
Yeah.
seriously. And, you know, they could just point there and say, okay, this is how you do it.
Need to get you a cap.
Something.
No, there's different kinds.
There's a couple different kinds,
Yeah.
and one kind, I don't know how to open.
That's
Seriously.
really tricky, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so so that's happening. Let's see, what else? We're just keeping
Put
updates,
some signs on the way in town.
yes, some signs about, here's what they look like.
No,
This is gonna be on the way into town.
Where the wildlife sanctuary has their billboards now,
uh-huh.
these will replace them.
Oh, nice.
Well, there's a more I've got two of the same, but there's a more user-friendly one that, one is put a lid on bear encounters, and the other one is, I can't remember what it's a little bit nicer.
That's kind of a mean-looking bear.
Well, they're both mean-looking bears.
They are,
I think they need to be mean-looking bears.
I was gonna say,
Not
I mean,
like
we
our
have
goofy
friendly
metal
bears
bear on
for
your
our
porch
food.
might be
These are the same.
Yeah, they're the same. And there's another one is gonna be on one end of town, one is gonna be on the other end of town, so that people know, hopefully we're serious.
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
I like it, yeah.
That's great.
so anyway,
Yeah.
That committee's just moving right along.
MAC committees,
That's
yeah,
impressive.
they're meeting twice a month.
You didn't know, huh?
At a convenient time, I hope.
It's all good. So anyway, I'll keep you
Great.
up to date
That's great.
on what's going on there.
Great,
Um,
it's really good news.
Mike's been there at those meetings, Mayor Dave's been there. We're getting together with, Fish and Wildlife and the police and sheriff, and we're gonna get all on the same page.
I tell you, I'm about a mile, north or south of town here. And I've had 5 moose, from a bull moose to a mama moose dropping baby moose to a bear that's about 3 years old zooming through my yard now. And
You're right on the creek.
we're on the creek, we're on the West Fork where a lot of that action is, along the
Yeah.
West Fork coming down to the Rock Creek.
Yeah.
So we're close to town, I don't know what that means to you, but yeah, in my backyard, it says daily. We've got big animals like that.
Yep, they're around.
These are very active.
Okay, last thing is the, energy conservation plan goals. Everybody had some goals that they were willing to work on. Does anybody want to make, Mary Beth, or Mary Dale, you were gonna work with, Green Team and,
So were you,
water dispenser.
yeah, were you in touch with Kate
Yes,
about, okay,
I did not talk to her about this.
right.
Okay,
Can we put our phones together and you give me her information? Okay.
I will send you her contact information. I had her wrong wrong phone number for like
Yeah,
years.
Okay. 'Cause
So-
I have not, I've tried before to get in touch with her and got nothing.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
okay. I will do that.
And I'm still, so we wanted to put it by the bathrooms down there, with the bottle filling station, you know,
By the, oh,
yeah,
I don't remember that one.
okay.
At the public restrooms?
Yeah.
Like the one we have up here?
Yeah,
Like that one, yeah, but down at, you know, just to hook up to the plumbing there and the whole thing. Just to get one on that side of town and, you know, Rotary Park's there. There's a lot of activity, you know, in that part
yeah.
of town, so, I think it will be popular.
Yeah, I think accessible for farmer's market.
Yeah, exactly. And anything, hockey, anything else, well, it would be on in the winter, but, yeah, anyway. Shakespeare in the Park.
Yeah.
So Alan had mentioned some funding left from some Teton something group, maybe for plug-ins in Cook City. If anybody knew, anybody who had a business up there, I'm thinking Trouty might know.
Well, that's a good
Oh,
idea. Why don't
yeah.
you get in touch with her?
I'll get in touch with her.
That'd be great. Maybe somebody in Silver Gate.
Silvergate, or, this was, they said it was for Cook City, but I don't know how, whether Silvergate would be okay too, so,
I think it would.
Yeah, it would.
for the funding,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It'd be easier to install something, I think, in Silvergate. Cook City's just so congested, really, you know, and you just have that.
Unless you went down to the, community center, the,
Yeah.
chamber
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
That's where,
a nice,
the only bathrooms are.
that's a nice
Yeah.
facility.
It's really
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Mhm.
they could put one or two in there. And they might want them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the next, Deb, you kind of talked about something with plastics. Can't read my writing, but plastics film? Oh, you were gonna do, some sort of film.
Oh,
yeah. you like.
Did I
Oh,
send you
that film.
Yeah,
You mean on plastic?
yeah, they were,
I can't remember what it might.
they were showing it in Missoula. I think I sent that to you, but I'll look at my email.
Okay.
Okay.
Would you do that? I'm sorry, I don't remember that.
Or,
It's all right.
Something that, we might show at the Roman, you know, during Birth Week or something, I don't know.
No, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because they're showing all sorts of,
Right.
you know, interesting
Yes,
things.
they are.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Mary Dale, you're gonna work with Deb.
Yeah, if you see any movies already produced, you
Yeah,
know.
this one's
Yes,
already.
already done.
produced.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
It's just about our future with plastics and, you know, how do we deal with it? They're, you know, they're everywhere, so.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, good film is worth a
Yeah.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
Julie, you're fired from Community Solar.
I know. So back
Except
to
for
the
contacting
ECP
Brett
again.
Marker, yeah.
So,
I'll
see
be
if-
reading it this
See if
week.
there's something else.
But I will
that-
get a hold
that-
of, I'll send something to Brad Barker.
I will too.
Yes, I will,
But, yeah, I'll,
5 calls. That's what I've got, it works.
Mm.
It's an app, free app.
Oh, yes, I've heard about that.
what is it called?
It's called 5 Calls.
Yeah,
And-
and how does that work?
It's a free app, and what they do is they route you to wherever you are in the country and who your representative rep is based on, I suppose, your zip code, and they give you, you know, what are you asking about, and some sample things to say.
Okay.
It's a pretty good thing.
It's called 5 Calls?
5 calls.
Oh, let's get that, okay.
I have one thing from your little manual of sustainability. thing, is that what the ECP goals are?
Yeah.
So, I think one of them in there was infrared heaters, just identified those. So I did put in our proposed budget for this year, to put in for heaters for the shop that are infrared, so.
Oh, perfect, good,
Good,
We'll see if we get it.
Yeah.
for shop from.
So, that was a nod to your Bible of that.
To our Bible. Budget item. Okay. And Joy, you were gonna look at the city fleet data?
Yeah, I haven't had time to do that.
Okay,
I need to call Lori to just find out what kind of data they
Yeah.
even get.
that's all
And so,
good,
yeah, I haven't.
that's all good.
For what kind of data?
Basically, I wanna know, like, what kind of, like, what does their, like, their fleet statements look like? Are they, do we know how much we're how much are we spending on fuel? How much are we spending on maintenance? And are the maintenance schedules up to date? 'Cause like, you know, we think about EV vehicles being the way to save, but really, if we're not maintaining our vehicles the way that they need to be maintained, that's gonna cost us, they're gonna be using more fuel. So there's other ways we could be
Yeah.
getting to those goals without necessarily getting an EV
Yeah,
vehicle.
right.
Cool.
I know when I looked at getting those EV trucks, I didn't really realize this till I looked at it. But you need to put on, I think they wanted you to log, I can't remember, it was 20 or 30,000 miles a year to be eligible for the grant. You got our plow trucks in 2014. We just plow in the winter around Red Lodge.
Yeah.
Guess how many miles are on them since 2014
On each truck?
on each truck?
3,000.
14,000.
Oh,
That's all?
Yeah, in 9, 10, 11, coming
Wow.
on 11 years.
Oh.
But, I mean,
Yeah.
that's something to think about.
Yeah.
It's a big investment for the EV, and the grants a lot of times won't allow. I mean, I think the police probably log a lot of miles,
Right.
Yeah.
but really,
That'd be different.
Public Works, we just,
Yeah. You're just
we
around
have a
town?
1 mile home range.
Yeah, you're right.
Really.
Good point. Okay, that's it for the agenda. Anybody have anything else, burning that they wanna talk about or whatever? We all have a little bit of homework. And, let's just keep the lights on.
We're gonna try to get those 2 seventh grade girls that were
I texted Kate Belinda.
brain team members here. I mean,
And I'm
seventh
gonna-
grade is where you're starting now.
That's right, and I'll reconnect with her when we do this bear thing.
Yeah, I wanna wait, but yeah, and then have a project, a specific project.
Yeah.
Where the brain team
Yeah,
thought out that they could, get their arms around.
right.
Okay.
I think they would be great if we have any sort of video.
Rather than just asking them to show up at meetings.
Right, exactly, thank you, that's a
Yeah.
good point.
I have a question about
Yep.
bears. Are you all gonna wear anything when you're inspecting these garbage cans? Like a vest or a tag?
I think what we discussed in,
We,
I think was we're gonna put something on Facebook that, hey, there's gonna be some nosy neighbors
Strange
running around.
behavior.
checking
A lot of
out.
people,
neighbors,
a lot of
yeah.
people don't like people kind of going in their stuff.
Through their trash cans, exactly.
that's true.
I just, something to alert people that we are
Official.
I think, yeah, somebody was
Good
gonna put
point.
something on Facebook or something and say, we're gonna be looking at bear cans.
If you just wore an orange vest and you look sort of official.
How about a clipboard? Doesn't a clipboard always work?
Yeah. How about wear a thing around your neck, it doesn't have to say what it is, but
Right.
just around your
Yeah,
neck.
like a big plastic thing,
Right.
yeah. And there
Could
it
be
is,
anything.
they were talking about wearing a canister of bear spray too.
Might not be a bad idea.
I mean, I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so if anybody wants to volunteer for that, talk to, Mike, he is the guy,
Yep, just get in touch with me
and we'll get her done.
They're gonna
take,
be some
you
training?
already
Did you say
trained,
that
I
there's
just gotta
gonna be
put the
training?
app on your phone.
Is there any training for this? did you say training?
Yeah, I trained you guys.
You just got trained.
Yeah.
But we need to come up, I like the official thing, yeah, if you're walking the
I
valley.
think it's, in these days, as they say, I think you would be, it'd be smart to announce yourself somehow.
I think you're absolutely right. That's why I'm uncomfortable
right.
about checking
As
people.
somebody who does this on a normal basis, has to deal with the public, you wanna be under,
Oh,
you wanna be incognito.
Ask permission later.
No, they're gonna come out there and talk to you about the whole thing for 20 minutes, you'll.
I saw this bear last week, and I had blah, blah, blah.
Super weird.
They are, we are. Well, and bears are such a interesting topic of
Oh, yeah.
conversation, always. But that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I'm uncomfortable checking out people's grills.
I'm not gonna mention
Oh,
bears at
yeah.
all, we're just checking to see if the can functions properly, that's
Oh,
it.
yeah, good
Yeah.
point.
Like your public works, I mean, you get a little, you know, free ride there.
Volunteer for public works, I can see if the can works. Don't complicate it.
If you have a complaint, send it to, give him Mike's email address.
Yeah, that's a good, what we need to remind, this committee, we have a meeting coming up, and to, you know, put something out on Facebook, we're gonna be checking the bear cans. Just, you know, see if they work or not,
Seeing if they work, yeah. These cans work.
the Kodiak cans.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're all Kodiak cans, I'm not sure.
Ours is huge and black. It's very thick. I don't know if it's Cody.
Well, some of them are a little bit more, and some of them are newer.
Right, I think ours is older for sure.
Okay.
They work.
Ours is kind of hard top.
Thanks, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So, I think we're adjourned.
All right.
All right.
Let's put our
Then
phones together.
the rain stopped, timing's good.
Yeah.